नमः। श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादा सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। परमानंद माधवं शिक्षक। Hare Krishna. So we are reading today from 2.40 Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 40th verse. नेहा विक्रमनासोऽस्ति प्रत्यावायो न विद्यते स्वाल्पम् अपि अस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. We'll all chant together. नेहा विक्रमनासोऽस्ति प्रत्यावायो न विद्यते स्वाल्पस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. Anybody would like to recite?
नेहा विक्रमनाशोऽस्ति
प्रत्यावायो न विद्यते स्वाल्पस्य
धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्.
Anybody else?
नेहा विक्रमनाशोऽस्ति
प्रत्यावायो न विद्यते स्वाल्पस्य धर्मस्य महतो भयात्. Okay, so anybody else would like to recite? Or
नेहा विक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पम् अपि अस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्.
okay, so can you read the word by word translation?
Na, there is not. Iha, in this yoga, abhikrama, in endeavoring, nasha, loss, asti, there is, pratyavaya, diminution, na, never, vidyate, there is, sualpam, a little, api, although, asya, of this, dharmasya, occupation, trayate, releases, mahatah, from very great, bhayat, danger.
Read the
Translation. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear.
read the purport.
Purpose. Activity in Krishna consciousness or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification is the highest transcendental quality of work. Even a small beginning of such activity in Krishna consciousness bears permanent result, so that the next beginning is from the point of 2%. Whereas in the material activity, without a 100% success, there is no profit. Ajamila performed his duty in some percentage of Krishna consciousness, but the result he enjoyed at the end was 100% by the grace of the Lord. There is a nice verse in this connection in Srimad Bhagavatam. Tyaktva swadharmam charanam bhujanam harer bhajan apakho tat patet tato yadi yatra kwa babhadram amushya kimam ko vartha apto bhajatam swadharmatah. If someone gives up his occupational duties and works in Krishna consciousness and then falls down on the account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part? And what can one gain if one performs his material activities perfectly? Or, as the Christian says, what profit a man if he gain the whole world yet suffer the loss of his eternal soul? Material activities and their results end with the body, but work in Krishna consciousness carries a person again to Krishna consciousness even after the loss of the body. At least one is sure to have a chance in the next life of being born again as a human being, either in the family of a great cultured Brahmana or in a rich aristocratic family that will give one a further chance for elevation. That is the unique quality of God done in Krishna consciousness.
This is one of the most important verse of the Bhagavad Gita, and I'm very happy that I got a chance to speak about this verse. So here we see that there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So what comes to my mind, when I read this verse, we are never a loser in Krishna consciousness, because in this material world, if you see, when you lose anything, maybe in your office or we do anything also, how do they see us? In a very pitiful eyes, isn't it? Oh, this girl is such a loser, or this person doesn't know even this. Correct, right? So we feel that we always have that feeling, oh, I couldn't do it, I couldn't achieve it. Because in this material world, if you see, everybody is so competitive, right? Everybody is so competitive. Hare Krishna, Vidya.
Lalita.
Lalita. My voice is very low. Headphone is there? Anybody is having headphone? Just give me a minute. No, not Bluetooth. Anybody? Not that white one. Huh? No, this is recording here and this is Zoom. Okay, anyways, I'll hold this one. Can you hear now?
Yes, not
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So what I was telling is that in this material world, if you see, everybody is so competitive. If you can't achieve anything in your life, then everybody sees that, okay, you can't do anything. So from childhood itself, if you see, like I am a mother of maybe 1 year 4 months baby, and in Instagram and Facebook, everywhere this ad comes that, make your baby a genius, do this, do that and all. I feel that why I have to make my baby genius? Why I have to have that expectation with my baby that my baby will be a genius? Everybody has skills in their own way. We cannot push anybody, we cannot do anything for anybody else. Like if you see all the ads which we see in the whatever children related ads, if you see, it is really, for me, people, it might be lot of information might be there. If you give Bonvita, if you give Horlicks, they'll do this, they will do that and all. But for me, it is like nothing matters for a mother. The mother, only thing that matters is that her child, they have some unconditional love and bonding. Okay, but then in the other way, it is not like this that the mother doesn't have any responsibility, but it should not be pressurized. Correct? but then that is there in this material world because everybody is fearing of losing everything in this world. They have attachment to a lot of, for example, they have attachment with the pride they want to carry with the children's success. If my child is very successful, oh, I am very proud of my child, right? That's the attachment that they carry with that. So for that they do anything also. They can do, like we see now and then the childrens, they are feel so much pressurized that they do suicide because they can't handle this being loosed. They can't handle this thing. For example, there was a girl who wrote, her father is a, you must be knowing it very nicely, for chartered accountant it's so difficult to get through CA. So there was one girl who was pursuing CA, and she was telling me 3 years back that the person who is the head of that CA department, like who conducts those exams, her daughter was striving hard to get through the CA. She tried for 6-7 times and she could not get it, and finally she did a suicide. Why? The reason behind this is that we have such high estimation, and we think that if we can't get this material thing, then that's it, it's gone. And actually to some extent it is true, because everything is temporary in this material world. We don't carry anything with us when we go back home, back to Godhead. Not back to Godhead, when we die. For a materialistic person, when they die, they can't carry anything, right? We can't carry the money, the prestige, the relationships, nothing. We don't carry anything also. Not a fig we can carry, right? But for the spiritual things, it is not like that. This is why this verse is that Neha Vikrama Nasho Asti. Little endeavor you do, that is like a carry forward. So actually in the spiritual world, the spiritual happiness is ever increasing. I was reading Srila Prabhupada's purport in the 2nd chapter, I think in the 2nd canto, 6th chapter. In one of the purport, Prabhupada writes there that the Lord is having such happiness, like the happiness that he can't even estimate the happiness what he can how much potency of happiness he is having. He cannot measure. And then the question may arise. Prabhupada writes there that statement, and then he himself he asks the question. He asks, if such a case is there wherein Lord cannot estimate the happiness, then is there something defect in the happiness, or there is something defect in the Lord? Then Prabhupada writes the 3rd line. He writes like, the happiness in spiritual world is such that the happiness increases and Lord again measures, and then again the happiness increases, then Lord again measures, again happiness increases, and then so that it keeps on increasing. So that is the ever ending happiness that the Lord is carrying, and that ever ending that happiness, the personality of that happiness is nobody else than Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is the one who gives, I mean to say that, who is having that unmeasurable happiness. She is the personification of that happiness potency of the Lord. So that is the spiritual, that is where the spiritual things are there. So you do 1%, if you are not doing it for the next life, that 1% will be carry forwarded to your next life, and you will be given a chance to increase it to 2% or 3%. But that is your spiritual piety which you are keeping it. And it is unlike those piety which someone gains by doing any yajna or something. For example, the materialistic people, the putative workers, what they do some yajna. So they do some yajna and they get some material benefit. So it's like their credit card. We have a limit for credit cards, right? We have a limit for credit card like 1 lakh, 60,000, 70,000, depending upon our salary we get that credit card. And that credit card we can only use until some extent. So similarly, those putative workers, they have this credit card of going to the Swargaloka and drink little somaras, credit point minus. You see Apsara's dance credit card, from that minus, and then when it becomes 0, fall down. From where I fell to where. And then again take birth as an ant or a worm or something. This cycle is going on, sometimes Brahma, sometimes worm, sometimes human being, sometimes this. That's why in this verse it is written that from the greatest fear one can be saved, from the greatest fear. What is that fear? What is that fear? No, fear is that falling to the human form of life. It's falling from the human form of life. If we are not getting a human form of life, that is the greatest fear. What the guarantee is that how, like we are in kalpa, you know how much is one kalpa? One kalpa means how much? One kalpa is all these, it's the cycle, it's the sum total of all the Satyuga, Trita Yuga, Kali Yuga and Dwapar Yuga, the complete, that is over the one. So like kalpa after kalpa, so think we are having 84 lakh species, correct, right? So we have to take 84 lakhs birth to come to the human birth, correct, 84 lakh, and after coming even the human birth also it is so difficult, right? So it's so rare. So we have to fear this. The greatest fear is to fall down from the position of a human. So when we do bhakti, what happens? We are given a chance to become a human being next birth. And today I'll be narrating one such story about it. So today basically the class is about Damodar Leela. So the story begins like this. Have you heard the story of a rat? Did you hear? Rat getting the liberation? Can anybody narrate the story? Okay. So yeah, so the rat goes, so the rat, there was so the rat, you can send this story in the, you have sent it already. No, that is okay if you have sent it, then, but then you can write there a title, you know, there's Damodar month special, and you can write. The story is available in ISKCON Desire Tree also. You can write some quote from there and you can send, so that the people know that this is Kartik month, what is the value of this. So what happened in the month of the Kartik, what happened, one mouse was there, okay, and one mouse was there, and he went to a Vishnu, he was there, and fortunately he was there in the Vishnu temple, you know, any creature in the temple also, they are also so lucky. So he was there in the Vishnu temple, and you know, mice, these rats and all, they like to eat the cotton which is soaked. In my home they used to eat, actually, one ma'am he will eat, actually, you know, that is so true. That's why I think that is completely true. So that mice was there, and that deepam, it was lighting in front of the deities, and the deepam was about to you know, about to diminish, like it was, you understood, right? It was about to go off. So what he did, he thought that it's an eatable, and he had these spikes, all these things, like his mouth. He went near to the deepam, and I think he pushed or something, he supported in such a way that it started lighting again. So what happened is that in that process his mouth got burnt, and he died, okay. But you know what is the result of that particular thing, what he did? He got again next birth as a human birth, and he also got a chance to do some spiritual activity. So when he was doing that, he didn't do it intentionally. He went in front of the Vishnu deities and he was trying to eat something. I'm sure he will not even know that here Vishnu is there or something. That consciousness is not there in the animals. That is why we are different from the human beings. As a human being, we have that consciousness to know about the Lord, but they don't have it. So when his mouth got burnt, but Vishnu, Lord Vishnu was thinking, oh, here is a animal, even though he is in that body, he is trying to offer me a lamb in this month of Kartik. So he gave this benediction to him, that that he becomes a human birth and he makes his life successful. So you see, a little endeavor, he didn't do anything also, he just accidentally he did it. That is said as Agyanta Sukriti. Agyanta Sukriti is unknowingly we are getting so much of piety. Unknowingly we are accumulating some piety. For example, you go in a train, you have some prasad and you give to any beggar. Instead of giving money, if you give that prasad to them, that will be more beneficial for them. You know what is the greatest charity in this world? What is the greatest charity? The greatest charity that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there was a conversation. You are hearing to Chaitanya Charitamrita classes by Sukiti Mataji. You should hear it. You should hear. I mean to say that Chaitanya Charitamrita is the guidebook for devotees, for us to imbibe those qualities. If she was asking, how can I imbibe those 26 qualities? One day she was asking me this question. If you want to imbibe this quality, then hear to Chaitanya Charitamrita, read those pastimes and all. So Ramananda, it was a conversation between Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was continuously asking one after one question. So that section, it is there in Teachings of Lord Chaitanya also. The small book is there. That also you will see. There Mahaprabhu asked to Ramananda Rai that what is the greatest charity, and there Ramananda Rai is telling the greatest charity is the charity of the holy names of the Lord, right? So similarly here the meaning why I was telling is that here the I mean to say that the Lord Vishnu saw him and he did nothing, but he was doing a little bit. He tried to light that lamp, and then he got this human birth. So how a little endeavor, if he is doing it, how much the Lord is satisfied. Think, if we are giving our life to Krishna for his service, what is our destiny? If he can give the liberation to Putana, who came to kill Krishna with an attitude of killing Krishna, if she can get liberation, what to speak about us if we do favorably with lot of devotion, if we are doing something for Krishna. Correct, right? But that was a month of Kartik in which he was doing. So that is why he got the maximum benefit, that mice. So what is there in this month of Kartik that makes things so special, right? So we will hear the Damodar Leela. I know you all might have heard many times, it is heard many times, heard so many lectures, hearing it from so many years, but there is, they say that Krishna is Nava Yovanam Cha, that is, he is ever fresh, he is ever youthful, and his pastimes also are ever fresh and ever youthful. No matter how many times we hear, no matter how many times we narrate, we feel the same happiness. So that is the the worth of this Leela. So once Radhanath Maharaj was telling that in his lecture, he was telling this thing, whenever we start pastimes of the Lord, then some devotees, they think that, oh, I have heard this pastime, oh, I know this pastimes. So Maharaj tells that if you are thinking in that way, that means you have not at all relished those pastimes. There was one devotee, he was telling that, some Maharaj, he asked the question to the devotee, how many times did you read Bhagavatam? And he started counting. So then Maharaj said that if you are counting, then you have no, you have no taste of reading Bhagavatam. Because we read Bhagavatam and again we want to read. We read and again so that is the, ecstasy of reading the pastimes of the Lord. So that's why I'm telling, so that I can read, I can tell the pastimes and you all can hear, because so I'm telling you all this thing. So this was the month of the Kartik, and Yashoda Mai was there and she was churning the butter. All of you might be knowing this thing, right? She was churning the butter and then Krishna comes. But then, do you have any idea that how the butter was made? that butter, like I mean to say that dahi, that curd, how much effort Yashoda Mai took to make that butter? Tell me, anyone knows?
She like found like 8 best cows.
How many cows did Nanda Maharaj? There were 9 lakh cows, and out of that 9 lakh cows, sorry, I got a crunch, and out of that 9 lakh cows, Yashoda Mai chose 108 cows. Out of that 108 cows, they were the best cows. That 108 cows were the best cows. Okay. Out of that 108 cows, there were, again she filtered so many filters, filter after filter. Okay, like we have in this Amazon or First Cry or somewhere, you know, we will have so many filter, no, rating should be high, quality should be high, like that. So out of that 108, she chose 8 good cows. From that 8 cows, only 2 cows were qualified, and I mean to say that 2 cows were there. You know what these 2 cows used to have? This, I'll tell you. So these 2 cows, this 108 cows who were there, right? Those 108 cows, they used to give some milk. That milk she used to sprinkle on a grass, that is Padma Gandha grass. That grass will give some like lotus fragrance, okay, the Padma Gandha grass. That milk she was pouring on that grass, think, okay, and that grass she took and she gave to these 2 cows. So these 2 cows, after eating that grass, what milk they will, that will be produced by that cow was extremely sweet, delicious, healthy, and it has lot of fragrance. So when that cow, they, I mean to say that they gave that milk, from that milk she will put the curd, and that one she will be churning. So what happened actually, why she was doing that? Early morning at 4 o'clock she was churning the butter, you know, like, and she was personally doing it. See, this Leela happened because of so many reasons. Okay, so one of the reason is this, that see, all these Vrajvasis who were there, all these Vraj gopis, they used to keep this curd, and what Krishna will do? Krishna will go and steal the curd, and they will come and they will complain to Krishna, they will complain to Yashoda Mai that your Krishna is stealing the butter every day. They will tell that, okay, so Yashoda Mai, I'll tell you a small conversation between the gopis and that of the Yashoda Mai. You're not feeling sleepy, no, Gaurangi? Right, is it okay? So what happened, you know, right? I mean to say that the Yashoda Mai was there and these gopis were there, okay? And the gopis who were there, I mean to say that when they were talking to Yashoda Mai, they said that your Lala is so naughty. He is stealing from our house. And we can't, I mean to say that he's so naughty, we can't handle him, you know. And what all he is doing, when we, for example, my child is sleeping, he comes and he pinches, if there is no butter, what Krishna would do, that Krishna will pinch the babies of that gopis, and then they will tell that, okay, so you hide the butter so that he cannot see the butter. Okay, so say that we will hide it, but you know, he is wearing such nice jewels, he is wearing such nice jewelries, and because of which he can see everything. And in the dark room also he can get the butter. Then Yashoda Mai said that, okay, fine, I will remove all the jewelries of Krishna, so no worries, now I will not put for him any jewelries. Though you don't know about your son anything also, you don't know, his body itself is giving so much of effulgence that by his bodily effulgence he can see everything, you know, like, because Krishna's body is, you know, self-effulgent, so like, you know, so he can see that. So this is the pastime. So Yashoda Mai was thinking that such beautiful pastime, isn't it? And I am his mother, but I am not getting this chance to, you know, relish this pastime. Like, I don't get this chance, because those gopis, they would chastise Krishna and they would scold Krishna But then Yashoda Mai was not getting, so she was feeling bad. So I'm not having that reciprocation. And Krishna within her heart, he knew that okay, I want to have this reciprocation with my mother. So let me have some pastime with her. This was one of the reason. Second reason was this, that Yashoda Mai was thinking, I am the queen of Vraja. Like Nanda Maharaj was the king of the Vraja, and I mean to say Yashoda Mai is the queen of the Vraja, but still he is going and stealing. You know what, the name and fame would be there. You know, I have such 9 lakh cows, but then he is not eating from here. She is going out and he is stealing. So thinking about all those things, what Yashoda Mai started doing is that she started herself churning the butter. So one thing we learn from this pastime here is that, so we should always try to give the best thing to Krishna. The best thing to Krishna. So when we try to buy some fruits, vegetables or anything, we should try to give the best thing for Krishna. When we try to do any service, we should try to give the best possible way in which we can do the service. When we have time, we should try to give the best time that we can give for the Krishna service. Like for example, the morning hours, if we can give some of the best time to give to Krishna, rather than giving the night hours when we are trying to sleep and all. It happens sometimes with me because I have a baby and working so many hours with the baby. I mean to say that last 3-4 rounds I do it. But then all of you, if you do not have such kind of any such problems, like you have the best time also, you have your youth to be given to Krishna, the age which we can give the best to Krishna. So we should try to give everything the best to Krishna. So see, the rapt attention, with rapt filter, you know, Yashoda Mai, so much filters she used, with so much of determination, so much of attention she was doing the service of Krishna, right? So that is one thing we should learn from this particular section of this pastime. And then you know, Krishna, he woke up and he went near to Yashoda Mai and he wanted to drink the Mother Yashoda's milk, and as usual Yashoda Mai wanted to go and, you know, save that milk was there. And so she kept down Krishna, and then Krishna became very, very angry. In Krishna book it is written, like, I didn't read the 10th canto, but I read that section in the Krishna book, chapter 9. You all can read, Prabhupada has written this pastime there. So there Krishna became fully red and he started smacking his lips, like very, 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 very angry. He became very angry that why my mother went, I am hungry and she is after this milk, I want her milk, she is after that milk. Actually that milk also in the spiritual world is having, you know, having the soul, like everything is so live in the spiritual world. So that milk which was boiling, that was thinking that, oh, Krishna is drinking Mother Yashoda's milk, she is not drinking my milk, so let me do suicide. So what he was doing is that the milk was trying to come out of that pot and trying to go out. That's why Yashoda Mai ran and you know, wanted to save that milk. So here, so Krishna became angry, she is after this milk, she is not giving. So Krishna, what he did, he immediately took a stone and he broke the pot and he took the butter and he went to a hidden place to eat that butter. Okay, and now in the meantime Yashoda Mai cleans everything, and where he went, you know, he went in a wooden grinder, you know, that photo with which we do worship of the Damodar, that wooden motor, so he went and sat on the top of that motor, and where he went, in the top that matkas were there, that pots were there which had this butter. So what he did is that he went and he climbed and he started eating the butter. He ate how much ever he want, he ate, and finally he also distributed to his to the monkey friends. He called all his monkey friends and then his monkey friends. And actually Yashoda, Radha Govind Maharaj tells that why Yashoda Mai became very angry was that, okay, she came out and she saw that, okay, Krishna has done this and he is hiding. So Yashoda Mai goes back and she goes in such a way that she sees that, you know, Krishna is sitting, and Krishna is sitting there like, you know, and he's seeing like this. He's seeing like this, oh, my mother will not come. Like how a naughty child, he's fearing to, you know, get beaten by his mother. So he's seeing here and here, and from backside Yashoda Mai has come already. You know, actually before that he was doing some more one thing. He was giving to monkeys. Monkeys also ate and they were full. So whatever was there, they were throwing the butter in the entire room like this. They were throwing. And the Krishna was telling, see, your butter is such that even these monkeys are also not eating. So now Yashoda Mai was very, very angry and he started running. Yashoda Mai was having that stick, you know, and he was running, and finally she was very tired, and Krishna saw that, you know, Yashoda Mai is so tired, and he stopped. And then Krishna was crying, like we see in this Damodar Ashtakam, Ruduntam Muhur Netram Yukmam Mrijantam. He's crying, and he's smearing his kajal has smeared in his entire lotus eyes. You know, he's crying. If you have seen a small child crying, the kajal will be like, they will, I am not putting, but then small babies in my home, they will put this kajal here. I don't know how to put for Madhavi, so, but they will put like this, and that water, it will come out when they will cry. They'll fully, it will become black lines will happen. So it was like that. His face was like that, and he was crying. And then when Yashoda Mai saw this, Yashoda Mai thought that what will I do by making my son so much of fearful? I should chastise him. He has done something wrong. He has broken the pot, but then I don't want to make him so fearful. So then she leaves that stick, and what she does is that she starts to tie. She wanted to tie with that grinding mortar. So you must be knowing that always there were 2 fingers short. There was always 2 fingers short. So these 2 fingers, what Acharyas explain is, one is our endeavor. How much are we endeavoring to please Krishna? She was trying so many knots, but there are always 2 fingers. So one finger represents the endeavor which we do to please Krishna. From our side, how much endeavor, how much service are we doing to please Krishna? And the second finger, it represents the mercy of Krishna. So any activity, any devotional service we do, it needs these 2 things. One is our endeavor, and the second is the mercy of the Lord. If there is no mercy of the Lord, we can't do anything. So this is the second lesson. So here, another thing what we see from this pastime is that Krishna is someone who the fear personified is fearing, right? Fear personified, and here he is getting fearful of whom? Of Yashoda Mai, right? So these pastimes of the Lord are, first thing, they are completely transcendental. This is just a reciprocation of his love to that of his devotee. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada writes that Krishna sometimes take the subordinate position. Oh, it is over. 1 minute, I'll just connect once. Krishna, 1 minute, just I'll connect. And these girls, they have not joined. Okay, so I mean to say that where I was, so so here in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes that Krishna sometimes take the subordinate position actually, and to his devotees, and you know he gets so much of pleasure by taking that position. because when he is a father, sometimes we see the Supreme Lord as a father, you know, he is our father, he is our everything. So when we, what do we do to when we have a father? Like when we have, what do? We demand so many things from our father. No, give me this, give me that. But when we have a son, we want to give unconditionally to everything to that, right? So here Krishna is telling that he is very, Prabhupada writes in the purport that Krishna is more happy to take that position of his son rather than taking that position of a father or you know, and a parent. So Krishna is more happy because at that time we are doing such devotional service to Krishna, and Krishna loves you know, that reciprocation, to have this reciprocation with his devotee. So only Yashoda Mai can do this. He actually, nobody can catch Krishna. All these yogis, they are doing so much of tapasya, so much of austerity, but they cannot go and catch Krishna. But who can catch Krishna? Yashoda Mai can catch Krishna. Why? Because she has that pure unconditional love for Krishna. Here in this Damodar Ashtakam, if you see in the third stanza, it is there in the 93 page. 1 minute. Iti Driksha Leelabhir, here it is written, third one, Iti Driksha Leelabhir. Okay, here it is written that, see here he is writing, Satyavrata wrote, the Rishi Satyavrata Muni he wrote, he is writing here, by such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees who pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conception of awe and reverence. It is free from the conception of awe and reverence. When we worship the Lord with so much of awe and reverence, so that doesn't give him so much of happiness. Even the Vedic hymns, when we chant so many of Vedic hymns, even that doesn't give so much of happiness. But what gives Krishna the happiness? When someone does a pure devotional service, that gives him without this awe and reverence, naturally. For example, we buy a fruit which we want to eat and we offer to Krishna, and we think that this is the season, and in this season the sitafal, or you can tell that, you know, the custard apple, that is very, you know, that is very good for this season, and that will be good if I offer to Krishna. That consciousness and offering the things which I like and then offering to that Krishna, there is a difference. Understood? I like calzone, so I make calzone and offer to Krishna, and Krishna likes calzone, that's why I am making the calzone. There is a difference. So that is that pure love. Okay, samosa you can tell, like okay, so that is the difference. It is available in Suddha Sattva, you can try that, it's very nice. So there is that is the difference. So Krishna is hankering for that love. So Krishna is you know, Krishna wants to be bounded, though he is unbounded, but he, after this class please we can speak. So Krishna is unbounded, but then how can he, but then that unbounded is being bounded by whom? By the pure love of Krishna. So we can bind Krishna only by our unconditional pure love, and that love was Yashoda Mai was having, and we all should strive for that love. We should try to develop that pure love for Krishna. When we go in front of the Lord, we should try to tell him, pray him that I don't want anything less than that of the pure devotional service of the Lord. Nothing less than the pure devotional service. Not a tinge of material sense gratification should come in my heart when I am doing any service for Krishna. So that is ahituki apratihata. So that is what Rupa Goswami tells. Ahituki apratihata means it is unconditional. It doesn't have any condition behind the doing that service. It is totally out of our pure love for the Krishna consciousness. So this is one section. Finally, Krishna gets binded, and then after that Krishna says that okay, now I am bound. Okay, so in between also there is so much of Leela happening. All the Vrajvasis come and they are so happy. Now Krishna is always that Krishna got chastised by Yashoda Mai. They're happy that oh, now you have got a lesson. Actually, when Yashoda Mai was tying Krishna, all those gopis, they were laughing. They were very happy. Actually, it was a festival, First, only Yashoda Mai was trying to do that. She brought all the ropes from her home. She was unable to tie. Then she went, all the Vrajavasis also, they asked, actually all those gopis, they were standing and they were laughing. Then she chastised to those gopis and she said that, why are you laughing? Go and bring the rope from your house. So they got rope from their house. Still he was not bound. And so they were laughing and teasing Yashoda Mai. See, you are never believing. See, actually he did it. Now you are able to see. So anyway, that pastime went, and then all those friends of Krishna came and they started laughing at Krishna. Oh, today you have got a very nice lesson. And then Balaram came. Balaram, after coming, he saw that Krishna is bounded, and then he became very angry. Who has, tied my brother? And then, Krishna tells Yashoda Mai. And then Balaram was like, Yashoda Mai, okay, better I am out of it. And then he goes off from there. But Krishna doesn't stop there his Leela. Doesn't stop there. He said, now I have to do much more naughtiness so that my mother will understand and she will make me out of this. So with that mortar, it is very, very, he is such an, I would say such small, but he is doing such activities. Like he is pulling the mortar and going. It must be very heavy, that wooden mortar. So this can only be done by the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. In small age, he can do such beautiful activities. Not possible for a normal human being. The people, atheists, they say that okay, Krishna is a normal human being, is a human being like us. We should never believe them, or we should never, give a tinge to their words. Why? Because Krishna is doing such wonderful activities. He goes, he crawls and he goes, and he got stuck in between the two Yamala Arjuna trees, and then those trees they break. Actually, those trees also, there is a pastime for that, right? You must be knowing about it. Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. So actually they two were whose sons? Kuvera's sons. They were both Kuvera's sons, and they were bathing naked. They were bathing in, where they were bathing naked? In the river. It is, I think it was a Yamuna or Ganga. Yamuna, I guess. Swargaloka. Oh, is it? Okay. No, I can check it once again. If it is Swargaloka, in that river, if they were bathing, so then Narad Muni sees them, but Kuvera is not in Swargaloka.
Where
He is near to Shiva's abode. He is the brother of Shiva. Anyways, I can check it once again. It's in Krishna book. You might be correct also. It might be in the Swargaloka also. In this planet it didn't happen. Okay, then if it is in the spiritual other planets, okay, in the Swargaloka, it may have happened there. So there, some other planet, okay, fine. So then they both were cursed by Narad Muni. So actually, if you see from this particular pastime also, for me I have a lesson that see, Narad Muni is such a, like last class she was giving an class on the association of the devotees. So this is what happens when someone gets associated with a devotee like Narad Muni. They were in such, they didn't respect, actually they were bathing with the damsels of the Swargaloka, correct. They were bathing with the damsels of the Swargaloka, and those damsels, they were naked, But when they saw Narad Muni, they pulled the dress and they wanted to dress. But these people, they didn't. They were hastily. They were also trying to dress, but they were still naked. So naked, drunk also, naked. Yeah. So at that time, Narad Muni, after seeing that, he said that, so you have got such a nice body, such nice parentage, everything is there, but you are doing such abominable things. Like you are not even giving respect. Like they are doing such like they were not yeah, that much also respect they were not doing, and they were drinking. So actually, if you see in the prayers of the Queen Kunti in Srimad Bhagavatam, she tells like this high parentage, this beauty, this high education, these three things are the stumbling block for for spiritual realization. A person who is having very high parentage, like high, very, they are having lot of money. For example, Prabhupada was telling in one of a conversation with one of the very aristocratic person, he was telling that you should give your sons to the Gurukul. In Vrindavan there was a Gurukul. When he was there, you should give your sons to the Gurukul. And then he was telling that, see, when a person is born in a very, very rich family, there is a tendency that they get proud and they involve in very wrong things. So, and he was giving the example of the grandchildren of Nehru. Indira Gandhi's sons, they were not such good conduct, they don't had such good conduct, and he was giving that example. I am telling not my words, don't publish it anywhere, but then I am telling what Prabhupada said, okay. So this is such a block in the spiritual realization. When they have that pride, when someone has pride in their head, no, they can't do anything. They can't do anything spiritual, because Krishna doesn't like pride. So that becomes a very big block in their spiritual realization. So high parentage, when someone is highly educated, for example the scientist and all those things, they do not want to take Krishna, that Krishna is supreme personality of the Godhead. Why? Because they are very proud of their education. When someone is very beautiful, they think they are in the bodily platform, they think they are the body. So because of which they do not have any spiritual realization. So this, sons of Kubera, they had the same mentality, and just to bring them to that platform, so that he gives his mercy everywhere. Being compassionate, Narad Muni, he gave them a curse to become a tree. Now, tree, he would have given it anywhere. They would have become tree in anywhere in the earth or any other planet. But he was so merciful that he gave he makes everywhere devotees. He thought, in this way I can make them devotee, give them spiritual realization. He made them the trees in Vrindavana, where they can get the dust of all the Vrajavasis. Such a fortunate thing, no? And in that, see, Krishna's Leela is going on in many universes. In this universe, in this planet, he did the Leela. In some other universe, in some other, again another planet, he must be doing his Leela. Right? So he did it in this planet. It is very fortunate. Not in every planet Krishna doesn't appear. Okay, so Narad Muni gives such a benediction to them. So little association of a devotee can actually save us, right? And how were these people? So we understand, no, how difficult it is. That fear is there. What I was telling, no, the fear can save you from the greatest fear. What if we indulge in a very, very abominable thing and we get birth in such category? Like for example, these trees, they stand for so many years. And why they became trees? Because it is in scriptures, it is said that we get the body of a tree when we want to show our body to everybody. For example, those models or someone, they just want to show their body to everybody. Okay, so Krishna gives them the apt body. Now become a tree, show your body. Correct, right? For so many years, they are just standing there. without any. But then these trees, they have got this, you know, this benediction that they were born. So here our prayer should be in this Damodar Ashtakam. It is telling that 7th number verse. Here he is telling that Satyavrata Muni is telling that Kuver Atma Jau Badam Rutveva Yadva Tvaya Mochi Dau Bhakti Bhajau Kritau Cha Tatha Prema Bhaktim Sakame Prayacha Namokshe Graho Mesti Damodareya. Is telling that you have given liberation to that of this Kuver Atmaja. Atmaja means the sons of the Kuvera you have given. But I am not after this liberation. Just give me Namokshe Graho Mesti. I do not have any desire to get moksha. What am I desiring? Prema Bhakti. Give me that pure devotional service. Give me that loving devotional service. How you have uprooted the, you know, the false ego of this Arjuna, this trees of this Yamala Arjuna trees. Similarly, remove all those impediments in the heart which is there in my heart, and let me engage only, I want only your pure devotional service and nothing much. So this should be our prayer to the Lord Damodara. But there is one thing for us to implement. See, Narad Muni was very merciful and he did that. We all also should be merciful like him. We should be compassionate like him. And we have got this opportunity this month to show that compassion. See, when one lights one lamp in front of the Yashoda Damodar, there thousands of the karmas and sins from the previous birth, it just goes off in one moment. So we have got this opportunity. We can invite, we can do some service this month. For example, you both are going to your home. In your home, you can have a Damodar program. You can have this picture. You can call the family people who are there, ask them to light one ghee lamp. You are staying in a hostel or your wherever, like she is going to this, temples. You can go to schools. If you have any schools where you can ask them permission that we want to do this. If you want to convince someone, some school, I am telling you, if you have some school which you want to convince them, just let me know. We have a Sukiti Mataji is having a proper PPT which we can show them, and we can convince them to do a Damodar program in the school. So we should try to take this privilege of this month and do at most service that we can do. Guru Maharaj's mood is to to give Akhyantas, like he is very, very compassionate. His mood is to always preach. And this Damodar, this month is one of the month in which we have ample of opportunity to preach. You don't remember, like when we go to this EA or we go to any other place for doing the Damodar program, people, they lamp light, and you don't know how, some or other, how I have seen, like heard so many pastimes, they get connected to some devotee and they become nice devotees also, just by lighting one lamp that time. And some people, they feel so much of, they feel someone has lost, they have lost somebody in their family. When they come and they light their lamp, they feel so much of happiness. And when we go there, we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and that one opportunity which we are giving, he might be most impious. For example, I went to 3 years back, I went to this OMR food street. Do you know OMR food street in Navalu? I went there and I did their Damodar program. We have an opportunity there also. They are also very favorable, like I had taken permission. So we went there and people were telling that, oh, I ate non-veg, I can't come and I cannot light the lamp. And we say them, no issues, even if you have law. So they come and they do it. The Muslims come and do, the Christians come and do the Arati. So everybody come and do the Arati. So the compassion is going for everybody. So this month we should use it at most to do the service of the Lord. And the best thing, so Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, that who is the most dearmost devotee of him? Who preaches this knowledge to somebody else. This is one opportunity wherein we are just telling, nothing we are doing, not even preaching, we are just telling that come and light a lamp, and they will be very happily they come and do. And in India we have this, you know, they are very God conscious, so it is very, becomes very easy to do this service. And by doing that service for Krishna, swalpa api dharmasya trayato mahato bhar, you are doing this little service for Krishna, and Krishna will be pleased with you many fold times. Oh, my devotee is trying to bring another one person from this illusion and, you know, trying to help. So this is the greatest charity, and this is the greatest help that one person can do to anybody. So thank you so much. With this I'll end my class. Hare Krishna. So you could hear, Vidya? Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
Mataji.
okay. So I'll close the section. Hare Krishna.